morning, everybody. I want to thank every one of you for participating to this event. As you know, this year is held the Posidonia International Expo, which is the major shipping expo worldwide, which gathers people from shipping and maritime area from all over the world. On the other hand, tourism is one of the major pillars of the Greek economy. And the idea was to combine the shipping event and the shipping community with this tourism, this economic Greek factor. Therefore, we organized this event, which is Blue Tourism Entrepreneurship, and not only Blue Tourism Entrepreneurship in Greece, but how it relates with Chinese cooperation. So we have Hellenic Chinese bond in Blue Tourism Entrepreneurship. The one thing that differentiates this event from other events is that it is held in as 3 round tables with no live audience, and we will have this discussion on the subjects that are set on the table, and afterwards this will be broadcasted on the web so that anyone that is interested in can consult the works of this today's event. So the Hellenic Chinese Center for Entrepreneurship is disposed exactly to create events that will promote either new entrepreneurial areas or new ideas on already existing entrepreneurial areas. And this is what we are aiming to do today. Discuss on a classical idea, which is tourism, and namely blue tourism, around the sea and the coastal areas tourism, but give it a new approach so that we can enhance and increase the dynamic of the sector. So thank you again, everyone, for being here today, and I wish we have a fruitful discussion on the theme chosen.
Thank you very much. So, should we move to Mr. Potapianos, I guess? We'll start with you, since I am told that you have to rush to another event.
I'm sorry I have to rush to another event. We are the Greek-China Association. It's one of the oldest association which was created in Greece in 1956, 45 years after Mao. And we are very honored to be here at the Posidonia, which is one of the biggest events for the maritime world. And we are also very happy that that we can coordinate that with Mrs. Bleta and also the Mr. Commercial Attaché, who is present today with us. He will contribute in this conference. And we have also Mr. Gratsos, who is a very important person in the shipping world. He is the president of the Maritime Chamber. And that's his official title. The unofficial title that he's a long-time very good friend. And that's the most, that's the most important thing, actually. Also we have Mr. Liwei, Mr. Kouskoukis, who is president of one of the sections of the National Tourist Office. So I think all the subjects we have been choosing are very important because they deal with tourism and with the relations we will have with China, and also in the shipping, which is actually the subject of the Posidonia. So we are very happy to be here. I hope you will participate. We can exchange views and also to contribute in this closer relation with Greece and China. I thank you very much. So we have as a card, on one side is Mr. George Gratsos, one is me. So I turn it around because I have unfortunately to go and come back later. So Mr. Gratsos is taking over.
Actually, although you have to rush too, I'm told that I should, and that's the right way
That's
to
right,
go,
yes.
to go first to
Yes, of course.
Okay.
the commercial council. So
Yeah.
it's up to you, Mr. Sun.
EA?
Did I say it correctly, or?
Liwei, yeah. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. President Mrs. Bleta, President Mr. Papadamianos. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. First, I would like to thank Hellenic Chinese Center for Entrepreneurship for inviting me to this Greece-China Blue Tourism Seminar and the background of the important international event of Posidonia. It is true to say that China and Greece are countries with ancient civilizations. It is also true to say that while the two countries share a lot of cultural similarities, the two civilizations are rather different. The Chinese civilization was born on the land, whilst Greek civilization was born at the sea. Almost every story in Greek mythology has something to do with the sea. The whole Greek history is closely related to the sea. Although early Chinese people began sea activities thousands of years ago, yet the bulk of the Chinese historical record told the stories happened on land. Thus, it gives very special and unique characteristics and the features to the cultures of the two countries. During my stay in Greece in the last 3 years, I had a very strong sense of deep-rooted sentiment of the Greek people towards the sea, and I enjoyed very much the fascinating Greek marine culture. For Chinese people, Greece opens a whole new world to experience and taste a very different culture and civilization based on the sea and ocean-going tradition. The ever-growing number of Chinese tourists in Greece, both on mainland and on islands, shows that the Chinese people have heartfelt love and respect to Greek culture and civilization, and for the blue sea and beautiful island scenery of Greece. I want to point out that with the improvement of the economic conditions and investment policy in Greece, as well as the welcoming attitude adopted by the Greek government and business society towards China, it also opens a great opportunity for Chinese investors to seek cooperation with Greek partners in tourism industry in Greece, including the marine tourism. This is not only about the hotels and marinas and other infrastructures in tourism industry. It is also about a series of related industries serving tourist development, such as sailing and yachting and cruising and diving in the marine tourism. I will not go into details because there are experts who are going to talk about it later. I just want to emphasize that this is the right time for the two countries to engage in further cooperation in marine tourist sector. Furthermore, we regard marine tourism as a wider marine cooperation strategy between the two countries. Marine field will be the next important area for cooperation between China and Greece, which has a lot of potentials and will bring about benefit to both countries. They include marine economy, marine science and technology, marine environmental protection, marine archaeology, marine disaster forecast and relief, marine energy exploration, as well as traditional maritime activities such as shipping and shipping-related industries. They offer numerous opportunities and new horizons for the development of our future economic relation. Bilateral cooperation in the marine field will bound us even closer on top of an already strong bilateral relations. To achieve this purpose, the two countries agreed to hold a marine cooperation forum during the Chinese Premier Li Keqiang's visit in Greece later this month. In order to further explore on this topic, Mr. Li, Premier Li, will deliver a keynote speech on the issue of China-Greece marine cooperation. We believe this will lay a new foundation for the future development of overall bilateral economic relations. Finally, I wish this seminar a great success. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. We heard the opening by the Chinese side. So, Mr. Gratsos, big comment from you, since I assume you have to leave too.
Yes. Well, Mrs. Gratsos, Mr. Sun, ladies and gentlemen, the maritime economy of Greece is very important, has always been very important. You all know that we are the biggest shipping power in the world, or we have the greatest amount of ships. But these work worldwide and transport other people's cargoes. Here we are talking about how we can probably develop the Chinese-Greek relationship better in order to make this a win-win situation. It has, of course, already started. From our point of view at the Hellenic Chamber of Shipping, early on in the mid-90s, we had considered that Greece could be the port of entry of Far East goods to Europe, because it was closer to the Suez, and with a good rail system we could feed Europe from it, through the port of Piraeus particularly. And this we were trying to push and make sure that the Greek government finished the railroad line, etc. At the time there were all kinds of political difficulties with ideological constraints that wanted port run by the public sector, etc., which of course destroyed the port and destroyed the prospects. We were in firm support of COSCO's entry into the port of Piraeus, and the port of Piraeus, from where it had fallen to, has now expanded greatly under COSCO, and we are now a major port of entry. We had been discussing this with Captain Liwei when he chose Piraeus first, and then how the whole thing was going to develop into a transshipment hub for the cargo from China to Greece through the railroad. In our discussions, we had sort of said that maybe you should discuss more with the manufacturers in China for the benefits of being able to use Piraeus as a port of entry to Europe. Because through Piraeus, goods can come between 5 and 10 days sooner than from any other European port to their destination, which is a great advantage. Thankfully, this happened, and it started happening 2 years ago with the Hewlett-Packard agreement with COSCO and Greek railroads, and now there are about another 4. This will be a great development and achievement for Greece, because this will bring with it the creation of light industry, which will put the final touches to put the Greek content to be able to reduce the import tariffs to Greece, and so this will create inland jobs in Greece. And the development is great, and now we're very happy that we see that for the port of Salonika also there's substantial interest. I understand that about 6 people are already interested to be there. This is above and beyond the tourist thing. Obviously Greece is a great tourist destination. Thankfully we have managed over the years to persuade the government to change the laws for cruise ships and for yachts. The Greek legislation up to 4 years ago was inimical to the cruise ship industry, and you all remember the great disasters of the Marco Polo, the Zenith, etc. Thankfully, we managed to change that law. It started, the first attempt was in 2010. It was not a great attempt, but by 2012 we managed to be able to persuade them to make the law equivalent to what it was in all the other European countries. And ever since then, the Port of Piraeus, the cruise ship operations in the Port of Piraeus and all the other ports are growing. We want to see Piraeus as a home port because it will be very good for the Greek economy, but also very good for the cruise ship industry. This is because with Piraeus as a home port, the cruise ships in the same amount of time could go and visit more ships, interesting places. Because right now most of the cruises start either in Civitavecchia, Venice, or Istanbul, maybe Smyrna. So it will reduce transport times. It will reduce the bunker consumption, and the cruise ships will be able to go to more ports. So I think Piraeus is a natural place as a home port hub. I hope eventually this happens, and that will be good. With regard to the yacht tourism, once again, we managed to change obstructionist and destructive legislation that unfortunately made Greece once again inimical to yachts. All I can tell you is that Greece, the foremost seafaring nation of history, with 16,000 kilometers of coastline, 4,000 islands of all sorts, of which 120 are inhabited, has only one pleasure boat for 600 people, 620 people, whereas the European average is one pleasure boat for 120 people. So you can understand how ridiculous the Greek legislation was up to now, and it actually sent yachts away from Greece rather than bringing them here. Thankfully, Mrs. Kefalogiannis and Mr. Varitiotis passed a law about a month and a half ago, that is very much in line with international and European standards, and we would hope that this will attract a lot more yachts to be in Greece year-round. Each yacht of, let's say, 25 meters and above, if it is harbored in Greece for 12 months a year, will create about 24 direct or indirect jobs. So basically, if we have if we attract 1,000 yachts over 25 meters, we have just created 25,000 more jobs for Greeks in Greece. And that is very, very important. And our marinas definitely have them, because our marinas right now have 15,000 berths, the existing ones, of which about 30% are empty, so because of Greek legislation. So we could easily fit 4,000 yachts as we are, and we could build a hell of a lot more marinas and create a lot more jobs for Greeks. Unfortunately, the ridiculous legislation is what destroys jobs, and we must make friendly legislation like we have now, and we are sure that they will attract the yachts and create a lot more jobs. So with regard to the Chinese-Greek relationship, I think it's very well on track with regard to Greece as a port of entry to Europe, and I think this will be a very substantial development in the future. We've been talking to Costco in Piraeus, who tells us that they can even feed through Piraeus Germany with containers, because it takes much less time than actually having the ship sail to Hamburg. And there's a 6-7 days saving, because the train travels at about 80 kilometers an hour. The ship goes at about 25 kilometers, well, about 18 knots, so about 25 kilometers an hour or something like this. So it's obviously better and faster to get the goods there. And I think that Greece will develop as such. We have to change some other things also. We understand that here in Eleftherios Venizelos terminal, airport terminal that we understand that the fees for the airplanes are very high, and that is one of the reasons why we don't have direct links to various countries. Hopefully the government, we've been trying to make sure that the government understands this, and this is probably another cause why home porting has not started here. But as soon as we can reduce the fees to make Eleftherios Venizelos inviting, I think this will help the growth of tourism and cruise ship tourism and the growth of Greece respectively. So I thank you very much for listening to me. I didn't tell you anything about Greek shipping because you can hear it at Posidonia right now. There's a press conference with the Union of Greek Ship Owners. I should have been there, but in any case, I decided to do it because I think that the China-Greece link is much more important. So thank you very much.
Thank you very much. So we'll take a quick break and we'll continue in a few minutes.